Hi, everyone, and welcome to Take a Pause with Menopause. It's a podcast where we will talk about the pause in all of her glory and not so glory. I mean, right? We know.
Yeah.
Today, we have the pleasure of having Raquel again with us from Menopause. Hey. And we have our favorite healing hairstylist, Amalia. Hello. And we were going to figure about talking since this is January, is go with your gut. We figured, hey, there's a correlation between gut health and your hair. So we
Yeah.
figured we would also give tips for, thinning hair if it's not for gut health or just anything like that. And yeah, so we're just going to go down whatever rabbit hole we choose.
And we have a
Love
lot of
it.
them.
I do
Oh,
love it.
yeah.
Who doesn't
Yes.
love a good rabbit hole?
Who doesn't,
But
right? I love them all day, every day.
yeah, so I like to say welcome. So hello, Maya, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you both doing today?
Good, good. The holidays are finally over and behind us.
Yes.
I don't know why this holiday season seems so rough, but this year just seemed like it was just dragging on.
Yeah, it was a long one. It absolutely was.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just glad they're behind us. I'm like, oh, that's I can put in the rear view mirror. I'll take that.
But it's a fresh year. We're ready to
Yeah.
start, new
Yes.
habits, new intentions, and
Yeah.
getting back on track.
New hair.
New hair,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I will say we were talking before we started recording, but
Yeah.
to keep everybody up, the last time we spoke, you had recommended Inner Sense, which
Yes.
is a great product, and this spray that you said that you would only take to a deserted island if
Oh
you
yeah,
went.
the hair love prep spray, my holy grail item.
Yes.
So true. So true. I got it. Like I went to the store and I sort of like took my arm and just went like, "Yep, I'll take all of that." They only had one left, but I got shampoo. I got like the curl thing that we were talking about. I was like, "That is amazing." Now, Raquel had said that there's a foam dry shampoo, so
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
in
my
it.
Oh
God.
So
yes.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
So
love that stuff.
girls, I am sold. So I got rid of.
Yay.
Yep. The new January, like clean out your
Yeah.
cupboards with all the stuff. Everything is gone except my Inner Sense. So yeah.
She did put some argan
Yeah.
oil in her hair over the weekend,
She
which was
told
kind
me.
of like Crisco.
Yeah.
She was
You
telling us
know,
yesterday, it was like,
that was
It
hilarious.
was
We've all done that. We've all been there
oh
before where you like reach for the oil and then you look like a drowned rat and you
yeah.
have to really, then you have to
you
kind of undo that like oil slick, you
oh,
know?
it was so bad, girls. The clip wouldn't even stay in my hair. I was like, fine, I'll
Oh
just
my
curl it and
gosh.
put it up. And I put it up and you could see the clip like sliding. And I was like, oh my
I
God.
was
So
gonna
fun.
suggest Dawn, but I was like, maybe not. That's probably a
Oh,
horrible
that's
idea.
funny. Yeah, that probably would have
Yeah,
worked. But
definitely don't do that. But Inner Sense also has a detox hair mask product. If you find
I
yourself in
saw
that
that. I saw
predicament
that.
again, that'll kind of
Yes.
remove any impurities or all of those like harsh oils.
I saw that they had a scalp, thing too, like a
Like a
scalp
scrub.
treatment. Yeah.
That oh my gosh, it is amazing. It's so, like, mentholated. I use
Oh,
that once a week, and it truly feels like you can breathe through your scalp. That is a self-care thing if you wanna feel like you're at the spa in your own shower. It is divine.
why don't I know about this? I gotta get some of this. Do you have this at the shop?
Oh, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
I know it's on my next product list. Every time
Yep.
I walk out with a little bundle.
I'm
Have the
telling
full
you.
Inner Sense lineup by the end of this year.
You don't
Oh,
even
yeah.
know. I have so
Well,
much product, it's gross.
it's so good though. Like I could only go to the Ulta, since I
Yeah,
unfortunately cannot go to the salon where you are at. But I was like,
you
"Oh my
will.
God." I'm like looking at everything. I was like, "Oh, do I need oh, we're gonna be talking to Amalia. I'll wait to
Yes.
see if that's something." So yeah, I will be now getting those 2 because they looked. I mean, just the sound of it, I'm like, who doesn't want a scalp treatment? Because we talked about
Oh,
how
yeah.
it's so important the last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, a scalp treatment, I love that. Just like, when she's talking about the mentholated, I'm like, "Oh, I can already
Yes.
feel my head tingling."
I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
love it. And then, yes, so keeping with the whole GI thing and the gut,
Yeah.
figured we'll talk about since you have experience, you said, with clients that have like that are on GLP-1s, which I mean, right
Yes.
now, everybody is every commercial now, right?
And
In
I gotta fix my
January,
hair.
like
I'm sorry. I'm
it,
like, oh.
I know. In Walmart, you'll walk in and they'll have all like the diet foods and the exercise tapes and you know what I mean? It's like
Year you
everybody's
made this.
January. Yeah. And the commercials with Serena, I think it's Serena Williams is on there, like with all the GLP-1s. And I was like, here we go. So people take them, but then they don't understand the consequences sometimes because it
Yeah,
really does interfere with your gut.
Yeah.
it really does.
Everything.
Hmm.
Everything does. And I think this is something too that, people know some of the side effects that can come with being on a GLP-1, but something that people I find are not aware of is how that can kind of affect your hair. Something like that, when you suddenly go from eating like a 2000 calorie diet down to, 1000 or even less sometimes, when we're devoid of that nutrition, our hair, last time we talked about how our hair's in the growth cycle and our body can kind of signal due to lack of nutrition. It can kind of tell our hair to stop growing and shed. The GLP-1 can absolutely cause that because you're depriving your body of nutrients. And I think just as an act of self-preservation, our
Hmm.
hair really kind of takes a hit. So this is something I think, especially last year, I saw a big influx of like, okay, I've lost this weight, I'm feeling healthy, which is wonderful. But with any kind of extreme weight loss, you
Hmm.
will see some loss in hair density.
Are you seeing a lot of people that are like coming in that are thinner, but with thinner hair also? Are you
Yes.
balding and things like that from the GLP ones? Is that what you're kind of noticing?
I would say not like, not dramatic balding. I was
Okay.
telling Mare, I feel like, when, like, bariatric surgery, like, kind of more major weight loss surgeries really were a little more prevalent, at that point, I had seen a few clients with really dramatic hair loss to the point of balding because, they just, again, restricting the calories, like, kind of overnight throws your hair into shock.
Oh
But
yeah.
I feel like now more with the GLP-1, I feel like it's a little more gradual, because I think
Okay.
where the more weight loss surgery, it's kind of like overnight. The
It is.
GLP-1's a little, yeah, a
Yes,
little
slower.
slower. So it is definitely a slower process, but I think, yeah, that's something with the GLP-1s that I haven't seen really anyone talk about.
Right, right. Well,
Yeah.
and I think too, like with menopause, or perimenopause, the lack of estrogen like exasperates the inflammation. So then autoimmune disease is such a prevalent thing. Like for me, like my autoimmune disease hit me as celiac. And so
Yeah.
that just really messed with like my intestinal lining. And because I was malabsorbed, like malabsorption is what was like the main impetus for my hair falling out, getting all weird. So even though I was eating, I wasn't getting the nutritional value from that. And so then my hair started getting like really, really wiry, and then it started falling out in like just the handfuls. And then at one point I just had like sporadic little patches of hair, kind of like a grass trying to grow different places. And it was like
Yeah.
all cut and choppy. I mean, you could have used my hair as a mop. I mean, it was just terrible, but it was super thin and like there was just nothing. And then, my 80s perm came back real strong then. And so, yeah, it's a really interesting thing to watch your hair and how it like evolves with you and like the things that you're like the changes your body are going through.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think last time we talked about how our hair is kind of a reflection on what
Yes.
is going on internally. And I think, yeah, any kind of like sudden illness, any thyroid, that can
Yeah.
cause textural change, hair becoming brittle. And then, too, anything like a GLP-1, kind of like a more medically induced like restriction.
Hmm.
It's kind of like at the end of the day, if our bodies aren't getting what we need, that will be reflected through your hair.
Yeah, and I never even like it makes complete sense, but I never even thought about that. But
Oh.
when I look back and I'm like, well, yeah, when I was having GI issues and going gluten free and everything like that, yeah. I mean, the hair is just like I had to get almost like little kid hair ties because
Yeah.
or like the hair tie would go around like almost 10 times from my little ponytail. Like it was like crazy, like
Is it
it
the
had nothing.
person couple?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and, my girlfriends, and they are my girlfriends, when I tell you what they called me, you'd be like, but I put like a put like a little top knot on there,
Yeah.
and they're
Mhm.
younger than me, so their top knots are huge, and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, Pebbles, where's Bam Bam?" And I was
Oh,
like, "Oh my god," but it was so true, like, it was like this, and I was like, "Why?"
you can always count on your friends to give you that, like, blunt honesty, you know?
Honestly,
That's how you
honestly.
know
If
they're
you're
your
not blunt
friends.
and
They
honest, then you're
are,
really not a
and
friend.
I totally love them, but I did stop wearing the top knot because 'cause I'm like, "Did I really look?" And they were like, "Oh, yeah, Mare. It's a little pebblish." Like, it's just and I was like, "I don't know what's happening." And, like, you say that to yourself, like, "I don't know what's happening to my hair." You don't even
Yeah.
and it's just you're focused on your hair, right? You're not thinking of
Right.
anything else. It's like, "Let me go
Yes.
get something to make it thicker. Let me get what you know." Like, for me, I never stopped to think, "Oh, it's inside." That
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
this is my hair
Yeah.
is the expression of what's going on inside. So
I
that
also think it's easy to kind of get in that frame of mind because our hair is something, like, tangible that we can control.
Mhm.
Sometimes with things going on in our body, maybe we just don't know, or maybe we feel like we can't control it, where our hair is something we can see. And I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of the times when we feel out of control, our hair is the first thing that we turn to try to control.
That makes a
It
lot of sense. It's like people
it
that are kind
does.
of dysregulated and they can't, they can't control their outside environment, so their house is like spick and span.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 But even just think like, if you're having like a bad hair day, your day's not gonna go like because you're like, "Oh, man, I'm having a bad hair
I
day,"
think about fucking
because
hair.
you put so much like angst into it, like your confidence is your hair. Like your hair
Yeah.
looks great. You're like, "Oh, feel great." It could be
Feeling
the
on top of
same
the world.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
It could be the same kind of day that you had when you didn't have a hair day, but it's gonna be viewed, "Oh, I had a great day today. Oh, the other day was horrible because my hair
Absolutely.
was flipping on one side." Then, like, when I straighten my hair, the left side will get totally straight, and I love it. My right side has, like, a curl, like, flip I was like, "Why? Why? What? What is
It's so
happening?" But
frustrating when that happens. Yeah, then I feel like if you're stressed and then you experience that, you feel out of control, you can't control your hair, then it'll
yes.
really, like, dysregulate your nervous system,
Yes.
and we can
Yeah.
spiral.
And I know exactly like that feeling too. I've been at like photo shoots or we're doing some PR stuff, and then all of a sudden, I don't even know why, but it's like, oh my god, my hair's is horrible. Like, oh, I haven't washed it in 2 days, and that dry shampoo makes my hair look greasy, and now I feel like I have a helmet on my head, and then I just sit there and I just like hyper focus on that, and that's all I think
Yeah,
about. And
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah.
then in the pictures, I'm like,
Then that's
I'm not
all you
like
see.
correct, and I swear, and then I'm the whole time I'm critiquing, like, "Do you see my hair right there? Like, a little greasy." Like, I can't believe it, and, like, asking people, like, this is how weird it gets, right? Like, you're just
It
like,
does.
"Did you tell my hair looked like that in person? Did it smell weird?" Like, you just start
Yeah.
going down these, like, rabbit holes
Yeah.
in your brain, so it's good. I'm so glad we're breaking these conversations open because look, ladies, you aren't alone out there.
No, you are not alone.
No.
And I
No,
guarantee
not
you
at
no
all.
man has ever said that they had a bad day because the hair wasn't right. I guarantee you
Why
that.
do they have all the good stuff, right?
So true. And I think too, because of things like that, something I really try to focus on in my own personal life and kind of like help others put into practice is we need some good like embodying techniques that aren't
Mhm.
related to our hair for when we're feeling that way.
Yeah.
For some people who really struggle with that, I'm like, you know what? If you have to just avoid even looking in the mirror, then that's okay. Or if you really need to like put on a fun outfit or take some time to like go out and walk in nature or take a few
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
to connect with your breath,
You're
whatever you can do to kind of, like, move that hyper focus because,
Yeah.
yeah, it can
That's
be
such
like
a
a
good
spiral.
point. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
such a good point. In fact,
Those
I
are
was
very that
thinking
is very good points because
yeah.
just even still, not even just with your hair, but just with the whole new year, especially I think so many people put so much pressure on January. They
Oh
do.
god.
I don't believe in resolutions. I'm like, it's a
Right.
lifestyle. Just do a
Yeah.
different lifestyle, but you
Mhm.
work on it
Yeah.
all year. You
Yeah.
can grade yourself at the end of the year as
Correct.
opposed to January where it's like, oh my God, I have to get so much protein, so much fiber. I have to drink more water. I have to lose more weight. I have to do
I have to
this.
take this
And
supplement. I have to do this. I have
yeah,
to
you
yes.
Yeah.
burn out by the middle of January. Like people are
Oh,
like, I
yeah.
can't do this. And it's like
Uh-huh.
you put so much pressure. So just to learn that technique of, you know what, go outside, go ground
Yeah.
yourself.
Take a breath.
It's incredible what just a little bit of outside does too, and
Hmm.
I've been working
So
really hard on
true.
this, especially like the latter half of last year and then like now into this year, like just like a lot of self work because there's so much that has come to the surface through menopause that I didn't realize was like inside. I mean, I knew it was there, but you just push things down through your life and you're
Yeah.
just kind of like, oh, yeah, I don't need to deal with that. Oh, it's fine. I dealt with it. It's pushed, it's suppressed, it's whatever. But like so much has come up like as I'm going through this transition. So for me, it's been like, how do I deal with this? You do a lot of shadow work. And so I look into all kinds of stuff. So I was reading some Buddhism the other day and it was like, just the guy was saying, like, he doesn't think about past and he doesn't think about the future, which really eliminates, like, anything else, right? Like, it's just, like, this present moment, and I think we all talk about being present so much, but, like, really dissecting what being present means is so huge because then we're just here. There's not like this, there's not this, your mind's not running over here, you're not running it back here when you were 20 years old and you said the wrong thing. So I think like just being present and like just hyper focusing on that would help so much. And then there's step 1. Step 2 is walking outside. Just
Yeah,
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
plans in place for yourself, guys, because it is hard. There's
mhm,
hard
It
shit that we're
is.
dealing with right now.
I
I
do.
think I really resonate with that, and I feel like that's a beautiful, being mindful. I think
Hmm.
just, like, how we feel in this moment is a huge practice, and I think that's something we all can and should incorporate more. I
Yeah.
think if we do set any intentions or any New Year's resolutions, I think, yeah, being mindful, getting back into your body, giving yourself affirmations, really
Mhm.
learning how to, just focus on the positive within yourself, I think is something that really makes us more resilient and stronger.
Yeah.
Truthfully, and I've noticed a difference because I've changed a lot of the conversation in my mind. Because
Hmm.
instead of like a have to or my to-do list, I'm changing it to like I got this done list. So that really changes the direction, which helps like the overall internal systems, which helps with, inflammation and that trickles down to your hair.
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
Yes,
it does.
yes.
It
So
does
I
because
think those things are huge.
I do because there is a saying that I always love to remind myself: worrying about tomorrow takes the peace away from today.
Yeah.
So,
So true.
you can, and that is something that it's like, so I took the word, when you said where I took the word should out. It took me a year, an absolute year. It sounds crazy when I say it,
No, but that is so
but
powerful.
it
That
took
is yeah,
a
that's amazing.
year because should puts you into you're going to do something that you don't want to do and you're doing it out of guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. So,
Yes.
people would be
Yes.
like, "Oh, I should get up and, I should do the laundry because I'm just sitting here. I should, go over and talk to," and it's like, you didn't wanna do either of those things, but you're gonna should yourself into it. So that's why I always say stop
Yeah.
shoulding yourself,
Stop
but it took
guilting yourselves,
a
ladies.
year. It was
Totally.
crazy. A year it took. I'm like, "This is crazy," but I don't write it. I don't even write it in a text. I don't even it's, "I will do this," or, "I can't do that," but it's not, "I should," and it was my husband was like, "Yeah, you don't say that anymore." I would say it all the
Wow.
time, and
Oh,
it is a
great.
mindset that it just totally yeah. It was
I
in
love
one of my
that.
self-help books. I can't
Love
take credit
that.
for it, but it was in one of them. But it does.
That
Yeah.
is
But what
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. But I think though that too, added stress, like the stress on your hair and just on your
Yes.
body, on your gut,
Ugh,
you hold everything in
your
there.
skin, everything.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yep. And I
mm,
think too, going back to that should, especially too, we have finite energy of like, I should do this. I should do that. I should, flat iron my hair every day
Yeah.
before work and
Yeah.
all of
yes.
these things where it's like,
Yes.
let's all try to get into a flow state where we do what we want. We act in a way that honors our bodies and our
Mhm.
hair. We don't fall into that should trap.
Yeah.
I
I do
and
like
I
the
think
flow state. I love that.
Yes, yes.
that's I think that's the hardest part too, is like we say that, we have so many keywords floating around there, it's all over social media, like do this, do this, do this. But really just take the time to understand it and dissect it and what it means to you and how it can change your life. Like how Mayor made that one change, right? Like that's a
Mhm.
dissection of like how like that was making you feel. You like sat with that and worked on that. Like I think that's such a big part of it. Like we hear all these key words and we're like, new year, new me, we're gonna all do it, we're like but
Yeah.
really like stop yourself, practice the pause, and like
Yeah.
figure out now. This is your time, ladies. Like this is your time to shine. Like figure out what it means to you and
Absolutely.
how you're going
Yeah.
to make that move forward. And is it the new cut? Is it like you want to just let your hair just air dry and you don't want to blow dry it and flat iron
Right.
it anymore? Like make those
Totally.
choices and do it for
Yeah.
you. F
Yeah.
Yeah,
F lady.
Because there's so many people be like, oh, people and they say that once you hit 50, you can't have long hair and you should cut your hair.
Or
And
don't
I'm
dress
like,
this way or
if
don't
you
do
I'm like, if you like your hair long, leave your hair long.
happy damn hair
that
length.
is
Well,
that is
they're like,
some
well, yeah,
that is
yeah,
something that always has, like, it really grinds my gears because I think too, we
yeah,
look at, like, the Golden Girls, one of my favorite shows,
I
and I'm
yeah,
like, if they if that was on today, that they wouldn't have hair like that, I feel like this stigma around that has really
Forgot
kind
I
of.
didn't think about their hair. I was just thinking about their
Yes!
sarcasm.
Well, you look at
yeah,
that compared to, like, Real Housewives, which is women of, like, kind of the
yeah,
same age bracket, and their hair looks
yeah,
totally different.
yeah,
So, I really think that's a big should that I have so many clients of, like, "Okay, hit a certain age," or, "I
yeah,
have grandkids, I should do this," and it's kind of like, "What do you wanna do? And what works for what your hair is now?"
yes,
You
What
know?
kind of
yes,
energy do you want to put into your head? Let's just start there. Like,
Yeah,
energy is one of those things that we have to prioritize now. Like, even thinking
1,000%.
about taking a shower some days feels overwhelming. So, like, do you want to do your hair every day? Like,
Yeah.
where you at with that?
yeah,
Absolutely. And for
Mhm.
some, I think, like, taking more time, that is their self-care, where it's like, okay, then
Yes.
we can absolutely kind of go with something a little higher maintenance. But then
Yeah.
too, it's like me, where I find the most value is having embracing my natural hair, embracing my natural hair color so that I can feel like me and also have time for other things.
Yeah.
And I feel like for those of us who want to go that route with our hair too, that's absolutely valid, but it's so different from person to person, and age and, life, I think truly has nothing to do with it. It's all about personal authority, how we feel and what we want to do.
Yeah.
yeah. I love
I
the
can agree
personal
more.
authority. Yeah,
I do
thank you.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm huge on personal
I
authority.
love
I feel
flow
like
state and personal.
I hear the
yes.
pin. I hear the
There
pin.
goes the pen. I love it. My little mantras because it's so true. Yeah, you have to just own it. Like, if you don't wanna have like, if you wanna have hair down to your butt and you can grow it,
Yeah.
grow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
it. Do you. Do you. Who's telling you any
Yeah.
different?
Yes.
Do you. Do what makes you happy, do what makes you feel embodied and alive.
And
That's what it's
anything
all
besides
about.
feeling perimenopausal, just do it.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you feel
Exactly.
overwhelmed, wanna chop your hair off, do it. If
Chop
you
it off.
never want to chop your hair off again, do that too.
Yes.
I did
Yes.
chop my hair off, yes, I did, and, yeah, it's like buyer's remorse. It was like you got
Oh,
into the
yeah.
car and you're like, "Oh." okay. And then when you, like, go to the shower and you wash it for the first time and
It's
you're
all
like,
You don't
"It's all
feel
gone." Yeah, it's all gone. And but it was because, it was at the time where it was, like, super thin, like, losing it, like, and I'm like, "Might as well just," and you can, I was like, "Yes, we'll go with this cut," that I see in a magazine. That's on,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Yes, that should look
that's
good."
me.
No, here to say it didn't. But, um
I need to see a
With
picture
that,
now.
we have all fallen in that trap
We
too.
have.
I think, like, of course, too, if you kind of come to a point where you can kind of your hair is on the thinner side, you can kind of see through it, then it's
Yeah,
like, okay, how do we bring it back to where your hair genuinely looks healthy? But
Yeah.
I think too, when it comes to that, as a stylist, I really inspiration pictures are great, but I always like to say, okay, like, let's kind of fold the hair under so we can play with how that'll look on you. Or like,
Mhm.
let's lift this up, and that way we can actually get a clear vision on what things will look like on your face because things in a magazine that are retouched,
yeah,
and it's someone with Botox who's, like, absolutely gorgeous with a full makeup team.
Yeah,
That always sets us up for failure.
I know.
it does, and
Now
I was gonna ask you because I'm so glad you said that because so many times, you go in there and you're like, "Yes, here," and, your stylist knows your hair if you're going to them for a while as
yeah.
well as you do, right? So they're,
Oh,
like, more of an authority, so, when somebody comes to you and like, "Hey, I really want this," I'm glad to hear that you're like, "Okay, hold on.
yeah,
Let's check this
Correct.
out." I did not get that.
yeah,
Had I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, yes, what was I thinking? Let's
yeah,
go get a coffee and I'll make another appointment."
yeah,
But
let's think about
yeah,
it a little more.
yeah.
Do you
But
think
how do
Sometimes
you,
what
like, ask them?
happens too is, like, I love setting an intention. Like, okay, before we chop your hair off, what's our intention behind this? So we
Mhm.
can go into it very intentional, but I also tell people sometimes you don't really know how that hair is going to manifest into your life.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think like I'm gonna chop my hair off, I'm gonna feel really good, but you don't really know like the ramifications
Yeah.
internally and energetically that are going to follow from that big
And
change.
that is a huge point because we don't realize how much crap we carry with us. Like childhood
Totally.
trauma is a thing. Like,
Yeah,
people that didn't get a lot of attention and they've learned how to like get attention by doing XYZ like that those are like little things that we have to realize even as we're cutting our hair like because like we don't know what's going to trigger what when. And so those are things
absolutely.
that we absolutely need to think about. Like you
Yeah,
just totally nailed the nail on the head with that one. Do you see people
yeah.
coming in with AI, like pictures of like, okay, I AI'd myself and I think I'll look good like this.
I do,
You do
and AI
already.
I
Okay.
do, and, because they have, yeah, those apps where you can try different
Yes.
hairstyles,
I
and
haven't done
Yeah.
it yet. I'm not doing it
I
because
will
I like my hair right
I
now.
will say, like, on one hand, it's a blessing and a curse because
Okay.
on one hand, it does give you, like, kind of a general idea,
Uh-huh.
but I think where it can kind of go wrong is you're not seeing yourself in the mirror, you're seeing, like, a cute kinda selfie angle
Right.
with that,
And AI's like
you
took
know?
away the wrinkles. They've
Yeah.
like tightened up the chin.
Yes!
Hmm.
So you're seeing, I think, a little more than just, like, a true maybe like, I would prefer if it were more like a passport photo,
Yeah.
kind of that you would
I see
upload
mine.
because
It's like a CIA agent. I'm like,
that yeah, that doesn't lie. That's the worst picture all if we could do that with different hairstyles, that
I
would be
am still
way
I'm
more
still
authentic.
pissed off at the DMV because I had a super
Yes.
like you had just done my hair and I went in
Yes,
to get the
it's
damn
so
picture
true.
taken for my real ID. And this chick said to me, "You're gonna have to put your hair behind your ears." And I said, "Excuse
Oh,
me?"
yeah.
And then she said to me, "Well, now you look like a teenage boy." I said,
Oh my
"This is
gosh.
my driver's license photo. I don't think I give a shit what I look like." I was so pissed. I was like, "You work at the DMV. Don't talk to me that way."
They are
Rude.
horrible at the DMV.
Ruthless.
Yeah. Like, I mean, but
Ruthless.
seriously, I think just going back to I'm hysterical because I now have a visual of my passport. if anybody takes a great passport picture, they are just absolutely beautiful in every angle. I mean,
Totally. Yeah.
I'm always look like I am surprised, shocked, and angry all at the same time. Like
Yes.
one eyebrow's up, you're sort of smiling but not, and they tell you not to smile and you can't wear your glasses and I can't see where I'm looking and
Yes.
I'm like,
Oh,
Don't wear stripes.
and then
Just
they
wear
take it and
plain
you're
shirt.
like, dear God, how is I'm taking this to every country I go to? And I'm like, please, I like put my finger on the please don't look at that picture.
you're like, this is
Please
not a representation of me. Don't look at this
Meanwhile, you
photo.
look all like glamorous because you're just like happy you're on vacation, and then
I
you're like
thought
in the picture, you're all
yes,
Yes.
exactly. It is. It's so hard. That would be the best. It would be like take your passport picture and put the AI cut on it. This
oh
is
crap.
what this
That's what we should do is we should just take pictures of all our like old passport photos and just put them all over social media. Like, don't feel alone out there with your hair, ladies.
Like, just get it out. We all go through the same thing. But I really do think though, when it comes to you know, again, trying hairstyles on, it's good. You can kind of see what flatters your skin tone. But yeah, if you want to do something like that, you need a very like authentic picture, you
yeah,
know, of to
Not
really
one where your
gauge.
hair and makeup are completely done perfect and pristine. You
yeah,
have not one wrinkle on your body. Your teeth are crystal
yeah,
white. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
the perfect
Yeah.
tan.
Because it's how you're gonna wake up after you get it cut. You know, you
For
wake
real.
up and it's like all shoved on one side. You're like, oh,
Yes.
I didn't expect that. And now you're like,
You're like, "What is this?
yeah,
What's happened here? What have I done?"
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yes.
I'm glad that see your clients are already benefiting because I'm so glad to hear like somebody because you do. It's like sort of like you want that girlfriend opinion like mine that said I
Totally.
had pebbles, but you do want to be like, hey, this haircut, I think it looks great. And you're like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
but their hair is thick or it's curly or it's this,
Yeah.
and yours is more on the straighter side. So it's like just talking through it with someone that knows hair would be so much
Yeah.
beneficial, so much more. Yeah.
Totally. I
And
do.
I will never say no to someone if they want something, but I will, even if it takes, the length of the whole appointment, I will always make sure that they understand what it truly will be like on their head when
Yeah.
they go to wash it, and I just
Yeah.
want people to have a really like realistic
Yeah.
expectation so that they don't, get in the car after getting their hair cut like you did, Mare, and say, I have buyer's remorse. What did I do?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so bad. Like if I put a baseball hat on, I did look like a 12-year-old boy because it was shaved in the back. Like it,
Oh, wow.
ooh. Raquel she can't even stay in the, oh yeah, it was, mm, mm.
I can picture it with the baseball hat on, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
then you do, especially because like
I
without
had to
makeup.
go yes, I
Yeah.
had to go get I then looked like I was 60 and was like a golfing person, like played golf because I got one of those visors that was not like a
I
baseball.
can't with you.
I love that. I love that
Like
so much.
like a visor here, and I would fluff the top, but there was nothing in the back, and I was
What's
like,
the chef that does that? There's a chef. Oh my god! You know the one he always has the hair sticking up here.
"Oh, Guy
Fieri?
Fieri." Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's exactly what I pictured.
Yes,
Like this.
it was so oh my god, it was ho horrible. Yeah,
Oh, well.
but
We've all had those bad ones, so don't
yeah,
feel
yeah,
alone.
True.
yeah.
Seriously.
It's so true.
I think my hair was black at one point. I had like some blue streaks. Like, why? Just
Fun.
why?
Yeah.
Just
Now
Young
why?
goth
color is a
moment.
different yeah. Coloring is a different thing, like, I don't mind that because I have here, like, how, like, you know, sometimes color doesn't take the same when I
Right.
realize, like,
Do you
like,
Yes.
notice
I
like
would
the
get
hormonal
it
changes?
it doesn't absorb or something. I don't know. I mean, it is from just I don't like you had said mentioned before that it's like the hair strand, like it's porous or something
Yeah.
happens. Like the hair coloring does not stay as
Mhm.
vibrant as or dark
Totally.
or rich or anything. I don't.
Yeah.
Why is that?
So
All eyes on
essentially,
you.
there are There are a few different reasons. I'm like, yes, we'll get into the kind of sciencey aspect, which I think you both know I really love. So
Yeah.
there's a few different things, as again our estrogen drops, our hair kind of lacks that moisture, our scalp doesn't produce enough oil, and it kind of changes the internal structure of our hair. Our hair doesn't have the same kind of like thickness. It doesn't have the same kind of like cuticle layer, which is like shingles on the roof of, the outside of the hair
Mhm.
strand.
Yeah.
And as our hair goes gray, we don't have the same color pigment internally. So
Oh.
then, if your hair is gray and it doesn't have any pigment, and we're adding pigment, it's kind of sometimes like a sponge where it'll
Mhm.
soak it up. So sometimes you see your hair, will get overly dark when it's
Mhm.
kind of
Oh.
gray and you're coloring it.
Mhm.
And then sometimes, just like a sponge, you can kind of wring it out and all of that pigment kind of flows. So then your color can kind of fade and it's left looking a little almost like hollow or like a
Mhm.
sheer pair of tights, not that true
Mm.
opaque.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That makes
Yeah.
that makes a lot
It
more
does
sense,
make sense.
actually.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
Because I have
say,
noticed that it gets like sometimes when I get it, it's like such a dark color. And then I'm like,
yeah.
oh, but then I'm just like, oh, just wait. It'll just leave very
Totally.
quickly. But yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like a sponge. And this is something too on topic, but also a little. I think as we go gray, we have more kind of like lightness of our natural hair. For some people who had really dark hair throughout their life, this can be really jarring and they want to continue to color it as dark as it was previously.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think something that honors a little more of like the natural hair structure is by going a little lighter because I feel like it disguises that, it addresses those issues a little bit more, and then it kind of just helps us work with what we have instead of working
Mhm.
against it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So to kind of on that like trajectory, like do you have daily habits that we should start or stop to like help the hair? so it,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
even know. Like does like any of that matter or is it just based on like DNA and what we put in our bodies?
This is pretty much just DNA.
Okay.
Of course, lack of nutrients that's going to cause your hair, maybe shedding, maybe thinning, but when it comes to, our DNA and going gray, no nutrients, nothing internally we can do can stop that. So
Oh.
I think that there are, daily practices we should all do of caring for our hair, honoring it, making sure we're not stressing it out. But when it comes to things like hair color, this is where we more need to embrace like what actually is
Mhm.
and kind of shift our mindset a little bit more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I know that I've gone from, because I used to dye my hair, like, all over, and that, like, fried it, and then now I go and she puts a glaze on so that the
Yes.
glaze is more healing friendly, and it washes out, though, after a while, so
Yeah.
now I'm to the point I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Do I just" I don't know. I don't know. I like I talk about, like, oh, like letting the gray just, like, stop the
I was gonna
glaze and
ask, are you
I
ready to
know,
embrace?
me. I don't know if I'm ready for all that for me. So I'm like,
I
what's
don't
she gonna
know.
say?
Well, and
Yeah.
it has to be this, going gray too, I think for some people can really help them get more in tune with their hair. And if you find, a glaze, which is a demi-permanent, so
Mhm,
that's a little different than a permanent where the color's not going into the hair structure. It's half in and half laying on the top, but it always will fade out. So I think really like, okay, is it worth it? Will going gray give me more time, more space? For some
Mhm.
people, yes, but again, just like a haircut,
Yeah.
sometimes we're not ready for what that does energetically for us.
yeah,
So we have to be
yeah,
ready. If
I
you go
know.
on your gray journey, you have to fully be ready to
Commit.
embrace and love it.
I
I
think it's a
know.
coming of age for some people.
My phone must be listening to me because it's been sending me women that have a lot of gray roots, and then they go in and they, like, weave it in there so that they
Mhm.
still have some of their, like, lighter highlights, but then it's mostly that grayish black almost, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "It looks beautiful," and then I'm like, "No, no, I couldn't, and I
And
would
it's
not be."
hard too to
Take
change
it
your
little
whole
by
color.
little. I'll maybe
It is.
weave instead of the brown more maybe grayish or something. I don't know.
I'm
Just a
gonna be
little
curious
lighter,
to see how
you
you
know?
do, because 'cause I'm
Right.
not ready for that, so I'm, like, waiting to see what you're gonna do. I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah, maybe we'll wait. We'll wait.
I know,
We'll wait.
I know, I
I
know,
don't
I
You
hate
know
it.
what? One thing, though, I did see with COVID, with people locked inside of their house, half of my clients came back saying, "I am not ready to embrace, cover it up, blend it in, do something with it." And then I
Oh,
did have a good handful of clients who were like, "You know what? It's not as bad as I thought. It
Mm.
yeah.
really flatters my skin tone, where I'm at in life, and I'm ready to embrace it and take that step." So
Yeah,
I
it's like
thought
that
that was
coming of
pretty
age,
cool.
right? You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'm coming out."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It
truly,
is.
I mean, I don't know that I'm ready for the gray. To me, like, I'll find a gray hair here or there, and they're so coarse. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
horsehair. I
Yeah.
in comparison to, like, what we're used to, right? So
Yeah.
I'm afraid to have gray hair because I don't know how to style it. I genuinely, like, what
Yeah,
am I gonna
does
do
that
with it? You
happen?
know what I
Like,
mean?
when people that they do go gray, does the gray hair from not having any color or whatever, just is the texture, does it get, like, harder to manage at some
I
point
would say
until they learn how to
not
do it?
harder to manage, not harder to manage, but, I think too with perimenopause, menopause, as our hair changes, I think it's just different to manage. And
Mm.
I think because we don't know, it's kind of foreign to us. I think
Mhm.
we perceive it as hard to manage when it's just kind of like, you know, almost going through puberty again,
Yeah.
where you just kind of have to learn who you are, what your body is, which I feel like is a huge part of perimenopause and menopause. It's
Mhm.
just something to, relearn and redefine.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, there's a lot
That's
of
very
learning that comes with
yeah. No,
perimenopause.
no truer words, seriously, and I think that's what people then do struggle with. Because what you said from the beginning, it was so true, is the fact that it is a control thing. You feel like you're out
Yeah.
of control
Oh,
starting
for sure.
perimenopause and going through the hair is the only thing that you can control,
Yeah.
Yes.
And our
and
Yep.
hair's
that
gonna change.
is yeah,
What
yeah,
do you
so you
hear
have to
about,
just be
like,
ready.
women in the chair? Do they say anything? I mean, what are some of the feedback I'm sure you have a lot of women that are in menopause, post, like, what is I'm
Yeah.
curious to hear, like, maybe some blooper reels, but maybe just, like, real stuff too.
I think, you know, I think that overall, we're all very similar in the way that it is a struggle.
Yeah.
You, again, look in the mirror, you touch your hair, and suddenly it starts to change. And I think we kind of gaslight ourselves sometimes, of like, okay, no, we just need to incorporate one new product. But it truly is, yeah,
Yeah.
our hair actually changing. So I think like I wish I had some fun blooper reels, but I think what I've seen is truly just like that all of our struggles are very similar and we all kind of go through this and it can be a little jarring, but,
Yeah,
it's something that it's good for us to know, I think too that we all go through it and that, we can embrace and we can go with the flow and we can lean into the change.
I agree
see,
with that
that's
too.
that's it, and I think that yeah, you hold on because 'cause you're like, "Nope, I'm not gonna
Just
admit it."
white
Then you
knuckle holding on, aren't
yeah,
we?
and, like, your
Yeah.
hair is, like, also, like, going against you, and now you're like, "Oh my god, now you are gonna go against me now?" Like, the
Yes.
hair, like, you were the last hope, and then
Already
it's
feel
like your
isolated, you already
lifeline.
feel
Yeah,
alone, like you're the only one going through it because you have all these
yeah,
changes happening in your body, and then now your hair?
realize
Really? Now my
it
hair?
it's never
Yeah.
gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the takeaway. Yeah,
and I
that
it
is
I see a lot of women too, like what you were saying with, like, the thinning hair where it's almost kinda
Yeah.
see-through and stuff, and I always wanna say, but that's just, because I'm such an advocate for menopause and things I always wanna be like, "How's your inflammation? Have you started" if there's like,
Totally.
"Where are you at? How are you eating? How are you exercising?"
Yeah.
And that's just but I see that more now that I'm in this realm and in this space, and I just want women to hear, like, it's not just one thing. It's not just a patch. It's not just an HRT. It's not just a change of your diet. It's not just a workout once a week. Like there is a whole embodiment of
Lifestyle.
things that you have to
It's so
do
true.
for yourself and your family and whoever else is in your life that you want to like incorporate, like mainly yourself. Like
Yeah.
to feel better and to
Yeah.
feel like you again, you have to identify who you are again. And that comes with your
Mhm.
hair as well.
It does.
It does. It,
And
it
I
does.
didn't realize that until I started going through all of this, and it was such a weird place because, you walk around and you're like, "Oh, I'm this person. Oh, yeah, I've always been like this. I've done this, da 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 da." But then you're like, "But am I that person? Do I? Does that really? I don't
Right.
even know like there's so many things that you don't think about on that granular level until you're faced with like being stuck in your own body with your hormones and like having those like circular conversations with yourself. You're like, oh my God, I got to get out of this space. So you start
Yeah.
to new routines, new hairstyles, new things to make yourself feel like you again. And I think that's
Yeah.
huge. Like having these types of conversations with your stylist, like, what can I do to feel more like me?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I think too, there's a lot of, you know, validity with sharing with your friends,
Yes.
having a hairstylist
Mm.
who will be able to help
Distance.
you
Yeah.
address these concerns, and isn't just, okay, well, use this product, everything will be fine. Of
Right.
like, let's
Right.
talk about your health. Let's talk about your
Yeah.
lifestyle. Let's
Yeah.
talk about, how you can embrace who you are in this moment. There's
Yeah.
so many bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I have personally sat in Amalia's chair more than once, and and it's funny because she does my sister's hair also, so it's kind of a twofold. When she does my hair, she's like, "Oh yes, you absolutely have the same hair as your sister. Like your hairline is the same," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." But we have actual conversations. It's not just like you filling her in on the gossip. Like she's like
Right.
asked
Yeah.
genuine questions, like, "How are you doing?" And like, and I
Yeah.
last time you mentioned this, so which when you walk out, like, it actually is, like, an experience, in my opinion, because, like, I walked out the last time, and I think it was just, 2 weeks ago that I was in, and I was
Yeah.
like, "God, it was like a therapy session. This was wonderful." Like, I just felt
I'm a
like I
therapist.
released
A
so
therapist.
really, I
Therapist. I
felt
love
like
it.
I just had, like, barfed out all of these things, and I was like, "Crap, I really kinda feel good about this."
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But see,
it's
that
just
is
kind
so
of that.
needed though, because you
Yeah.
do like you hold so much pressure and energy. Like there's
Yes.
so much energy in your hair that you're holding on to, trying to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
that person that you were before and realizing you're going to have to let her go. I've realized
Yeah.
that. I've realized that and
Yeah.
it is jarring, but
Mm.
you can struggle with trying to keep her
Ugh.
and struggle the rest of the time in menopause or thank her for how she was and bid her goodbye and embrace the new you and then you move on in a better mindset because
That literally was, like,
trying
the
to
most
always
authentic thing
hold
I've ever
on, you're not
seriously.
gonna be able to.
No,
So,
truly, like, you have to realize she's not coming back.
she ain't coming back. She
Yeah,
ain't
We
coming
and
thank
back.
her for everything she's done, and we embrace
Exactly.
who
it's
we
a
are now.
breakup with
Here
your
you are
damn
now.
self,
So
right?
yeah.
Like, you're
So
breaking up with your damn self.
you are.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah,
And you're gonna keep the best parts that you liked and whatever didn't serve you, you let that go. But at least though, in your chair, you can, like, talk about it and like you said, the
Yeah.
therapist,
Exactly.
yeah, you walk out, you're
Yeah.
therapist.
done.
Our
Yeah.
little therapist moment.
I know.
Yes.
Well, I tell you, when I do come, I hope you just always have an opening because whenever I fly out
I'll
there,
tell
I
us
will
in
be
advance,
like,
girlfriend.
just yeah.
I
But
can't wait to get you in. One of these days, it'll
yeah,
happen.
I
It
know
was so
it definitely will.
I will say, Mare, since you've started using the product that Amalia recommended, your hair has been on point. Like, I can
Yeah,
even
your
see,
hair
like,
looks
right
really
here that
good.
it's, like,
It is
super
real.
full.
Thank
I'm
you.
like,
It is.
"Girl."
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
like,
your bangs
where
are,
has
like,
this been all my
super, like
life?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mm,
It's just
yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah,
It's amazing.
totally.
But I can't thank you enough. But real quick, I saw this and I thought this was a funny thing, like a rapid fire, like
Oh, yes, I
everything that
love
you've
that.
always
Oh,
wanted to get.
yeah.
So
Yes.
all right. So what is the best cut for thinning hair?
The
If you had to
best
just
cut for thinning hair, I feel like it changes woman to woman, but it definitely wants, I feel like I would say something that makes your hair look thicker, healthier, And then I think for any kind of thinning hair, a little bit of kind of crown lifting layers that
Yeah.
can give you some volume,
Yes.
that across the board is the best for thinning hair.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Now
That
I'm
does sound
questioning, is
good.
my hair thinning because I kinda have a cut like that. No,
No.
just teasing. I'm
See,
totally
that's
teasing.
for most of my clients. I'm like, "We all need a little more volume."
I don't have
We
sarcasm, then I got
love
nothing. So here we
I
are.
what is the biggest product mistake?
Oh, I know
I
this
think
one. This is like the dry shampoo. I'm just teasing, I'm
well,
teasing.
I think the biggest product mistake is using products that are filled with chemicals, are
Yes.
going to disrupt your endocrine
I
system, and that
agree.
work against you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because
I
like
got that app
poison
that
to
you
put on your body.
recommended. That, that app, the
Oh,
I
yeah.
think dirty
Think Dirty,
app.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
husband was laughing. I was like, "Oh, oh, oh, let's look at this shampoo." And he's like, "Seriously, we were only coming in for a few." I was like, hold
No, you
on.
gotta
Look at
see
this.
it.
You gotta
Let me
try
show
it
you."
out. It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
gotta
is
scan
very
it.
fun.
Gotta know, gotta know.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I would agree with that because they are so filled with chemicals. It's like crazy.
And it's so
Yeah.
interesting too because you think about like what you put on your body in just a shower, right? The soap, the face
Mhm.
wash, the shampoo, the conditioner. So you get
Yep.
out of that, and then you're going to the lotion, the face wipes, the makeup, the
Yeah.
hair product. I mean, it's probably over 2,000 chemicals we put on our
Yeah.
like skin, which is our most like our largest organ on our body,
Yeah.
absorbing all
Yeah.
that. So it's
It's
like
like we're
Yeah.
think
walking
that
through Chernobyl
through.
every day. Every day. Just walk
Yeah.
through because that's what we're putting on our body. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Um, one thing to stop doing now, what would that be?
Ooh.
That's a good one. That's
One
a hard
thing
one.
I think one thing to stop doing is to stop talking negatively about yourself and your hair.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. God,
That
yes. Because it
I
changes the whole damn conversation, the
It
whole
really
landscape of the conversation.
it
It
does
really
it.
does.
And
Mhm.
then one thing to start today.
Ooh,
One thing to start today, I think, is to communicate with your girlfriends, share your experiences so that you don't feel alone.
yeah.
Really be mindful, tune into yourself, give yourself grace, and use clean beauty products.
I love that.
I
Yes.
do. I love that too. I loved everything because here I never knew, and that the gut and your hair, like it never even thought of it.
Ah,
So I've learned so much just today. And yes, I
yay!
don't use
I
the
always learn.
chemicals. Yeah. So it was great. Yeah. Do you have anything else, or Raquel or Amalia, do you have anything else you want to say out to the women that are struggling with everything?
The only thing I want to say is menopause is a transition, not a decline. We're
Yeah.
transitioning.
Oh,
And I
Yes.
really
yes.
think to
That
Mare's
is
point,
such a
like,
great that should be a bumper
That
you
sticker.
is good.
You
Yeah.
are just breaking up with a part of yourself that you didn't realize. Like to Mare's point, like that just hit home so much for me. Like just it's a transition, ladies. We're just
Yep.
becoming different versions of ourselves. Like don't look at a lot. Take the rear view mirror off. When this is not a
Yeah.
loss of who we were. This is a growth of who we're becoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't agree more with that. And, to add on to that, I think too, back to the mindfulness, give yourself love and
Yeah.
just know that there is no problem that can't be solved,
Yeah.
especially with our hair and with ourselves.
Right. Nothing bad stays, right? Like nothing gold
No.
stays.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is a great therapy session. It's like
I do
hair
too. I
therapy.
like
Love
it.
it.
This is great. Yeah. So we will definitely have to well, we'll definitely reschedule another. And we don't just have to talk about hair. I mean, we could, but maybe talk just about
Well, we
anything.
have
We'll
our
be like,
therapist. We don't need to talk about just hair. We have our therapist here.
You know what?
exactly.
We could talk
Exactly.
about hair for forever, but you ladies are just so fun to talk about too. I'm like, yeah, just give us a topic, let us go down a
Yep.
rabbit hole, and we'll see where we end up.
We'll start
I
at
love
hair.
it.
We're gonna end up at like, okay, we've like really transformed our whole like
Yes.
psychology of
Yeah.
our life.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's needed because I think people feel
Because
so
these
much better.
conversations aren't had. They're not had.
Yep.
And if you do have true girlfriends that you may have had like one or two of these conversations, but when you break that seal and you start having this conversation with everybody. It is incredible the amount of power that you feel back in yourself and who you are.
Totally.
And it not power in a bad way, like the empowerment that you feel back in yourself and just being able to like know you're not alone. My God,
Yeah.
you're not alone. Like I'm sitting here looking at my neck because it's red because barely scratched, and I'm like, look at her neck. Her neck's not, and but you just compare and contrast
Yeah.
everything like by design. So have conversations and know you're not. Like everybody has a red neck at some point, right?
Yeah.
There's
And you're
so
not
much
alone.
more commonality than we think. We all go through
Mhm.
the same things. We feel
Yes.
so isolated, but we're
Yes.
truly not.
Yes. I think the isolation was the worst part for me. Like
Yeah.
just like it's just maddening. It's almost like being stuck in a four-room wall where you can't get out. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
just constantly like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. I agree. I agree. And yeah, well, we are always going to be enlightened because we will always have these podcasts with Amalia. And I can hardly wait to think what we'll talk about next, but I know there will be a next.
Oh,
So,
you know there
Oh,
will be.
yes.
oh yeah.
Can't wait.
Oh yes. So yes, I thank you again. I thank you for your insight. You're just amazing. You are just a calming force that I really look forward to always talking with.
Thank you so
Truly.
much. Yeah, these conversations are great, and I just love sharing information and,
Yes.
education and information are truly like the heart and soul of what I do. And
Yeah.
I just want everyone to feel like the best versions of themselves, have the knowledge to do that, and to feel empowered. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
as we always like to say, we will see you
See
next
you
Tuesday.
next Tuesday.